What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, my people? It's been a minute. It's been a few weeks. But we back. We got a legendary man. Hey, but you know I always have good people anyway. But I gotta read something off because I got to introduce this man here. He 43 years in the business.
48.
48. See that they got that wrong. That's all right. That's all right. Okay. They tried.
We good.
Yeah, they tried.
We good.
So, are we live? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, because I don't see it on here. That's why. All right. We got Mr. Nate Tarver.
Yes, sir.
I got that right there.
You got it right.
Nate Tarver. He's 70 years old.
No, you got that wrong.
That's wrong. How old?
I'm 73, be 74 in December.
Well, you go for 60 something.
Yeah, that's good.
Still got it.
Still got it.
43 years in the business of performing arts.
48.
48 years in the business of performing arts.
That's good.
Such as Barry White, Gladys Knight, Earth, Wind and Fire, Frankie Beverly and Mays, and Prince. That's just to name a few.
That's just a few of them.
He was born in Selma, Alabama.
Yes, sir.
I was just there for Bloody Sunday.
Yeah, okay.
He attended Miles College, and after 3 years, a friend of his, Clarence Thomas.
Clarence Jones.
Clarence who?
Jones.
They got Clarence Thomas on here.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, they just sent me anything.
That's okay, we good.
That's all right. Clarence Jones asked him to come be with him, and he managed Confunction. Then they started Jade Entertainment.
J-Aid.
J-Aid. Oh, so it ain't Jade, it's J-Aid.
J-Aid
Okay.
Production.
All right, Productions. Okay. Then you moved to Oakland, California in 1972.
Yes, I went to California really in 74.
In 74?
Right.
All right. And you was there for 6 years, right?
No, I was in California for 16 years.
Hey, did I get punked? What the hell?
That's okay. You got the man. I
got some of it.
Yeah, that's okay. You got the man with him.
And so after that, you opened up. They opened up for the Commodores in 1980. Is that right?
We opened up on the back end of the Commodore. The Commodore the Brick House tour came out in 1977, and they was out for a period of 2 years. But after it was the Commodores and the Emotions, and after 18 months, the Emotion had to go back into the studio. So they were looking for another act to put with the Commodores. It just so happened a friend of ours, Quincy of Taurus Production out of Detroit, was able, that Quincy was the tour promoter, and he allowed Confunction to be able to come on tour, provided we don't play anything off our new album.
Okay.
And we kept that promise until we got to Oakland, California. And that's when we really broke up, because Confunction being from the Bay Area, out of Vallejo, they played that new song because they were home with their home people, and they kept asking and the crowd kept begging for the song, and they broke the rule and they played it.
Okay, I see. Yeah, so but I'm breaking the rule.
Yeah.
And you managed Earth, Wind, Mays and Frankie Beverly Mays?
Frank, we did the management part. Frank never dotted the line for anyone. So if anyone said they managed Frankie, they're lying. I stayed with Frankie 10 years. Okay. On the 11th year, I left Clarence with him. Clarence stayed one additional year. But I found Frankie in 1979 at JG's Reflection in Atlanta, Georgia, ran by a gentleman out of Birmingham named Thurman Thomas.
I heard of him.
Thurman started a club here in Birmingham called the French Quarter.
French Quarter. I knew I heard of it.
All right. Yeah. And he said, they told Clarence and I, hey, we got a group that's touring, and he's going to be at my club in Atlanta. Once you're in Clarence, you guys need to hear this group. So Clarence had to go to LA to take care of Confunction business, and I volunteered to go over to Atlanta to check this group out. And I met Frankie, excellent group, and the rest is history. I got the information. I went back to the Bay Area. Clarence left LA, came to meet with me. He said, Nate, how things went? How was the group? I said, Clarence, excellent group. They're renegades. They don't have a manager. They don't have anyone. They need direction. And he said, well, give me the information. And 2 weeks later, he called me. We're on board as a trial for management. That trial ran for 10 years. And I told Clarence, I'm out of here because Frankie is not going to sign the deal. Clarence said, I'll stay one more year. And after that year, Clarence left. And then when I left, Clarence had a gentleman out of Huntsville by the name of Joe Douglas.
Yes, sir.
And Joe Douglas stayed with Frankie up until 2023 when Joe passed away. And now, as you know, Frankie no longer exists as well.
Yes, sir. Rest in peace, Frankie.
Right, rest in peace. I'm the gentleman that got Frankie from Philadelphia to the Bay Area. And most artists don't know how they could get to one point to the next point.
Yes, sir.
But the promoter opens the doors. And he told the gentleman, Nate Tarver never done anything for me. But he didn't understand. I was the reason that when I first met him, got with Clarence, he didn't understand that I was the one that got him from the West Coast to the Bay Area.
Yes, sir.
In Walnut Creek.
Yes, sir.
And they lived with a young lady by the name of Debbie, and Robert DeWitt, the bass player, was all the way from Berkeley. So that's how the relationship started. Excellent. And it was a breath of fresh air to come from Confunction to be with me. Frankie was a smooth operator.
Yeah, he was tough. So I know his nephew, David Beverly.
Mm-hmm.
And I met him a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah, David pretty cool. I think he was talking to you last time I saw him.
Well, the history of Maze is it's hard to develop. The history of Maze. All the guys like VJ, which was the road man, and Yogi was the guy that basically was the handyman on the road. But
yes, sir.
We rode together for years, and after and nothing, no bad blood, but I just decided to do something different.
Yes, sir.
And Frankie, to the day until he died, we were some best of friends. We're both Sagittarius.
Oh yeah.
Right.
When's your birthday?
December 13th. He's on the 9th.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see where you did real estate too. And you managed to produce some of the country's music and theatrical tours.
Well, I went and got my broken license because what happens when the band goes in the studio, a friend of mine had a real estate office, and we was getting a HUD listing.
Yes, sir.
And it wasn't publicized in the newspaper, and we had the first shot at that. So I would take money I made in the music business and buy houses, rehab, and resell them. That's how I made money on the side. And the real estate market failed in 1980. And I found myself back in the music industry. And
did you do
the real estate failed in 1990.
Did you do good in real estate?
Real estate was good. Clarence and I bought about 60 acres of property, and we was going to do housing development up in Huntsville. But the real estate market fell. I built my first 2 houses. I had a bank I called Alabama Bank, and they gave me a construction loan. And after that, the market fell. I couldn't sell the houses, and they came to me and said, Nate, either you pay me or I take the houses.
Right.
I said, best take the houses. But the going back into the industry, not back into the music side of it, I got a call from Clarence Jones and Quentin Perry in 2000. They was at the Wilson Theater in LA. They was talking to a gentleman by the name of Shelley Garrett. He had a play called Beauty Shop.
Yeah.
And then they said, Nate, could you meet us in Detroit?
Yes, sir.
We got a new project that we're gonna have to do multiple nights. Because we was accustomed to doing one night. The play business we was able to do multiple nights. So meeting them in Detroit, sitting down, coming up with a strategy, how that we're gonna sell this new product. We had a gospel play by the name of Mama Don't, written by Mike Matthews. So we took both shows and we created the atmosphere because the average person across country never saw a theater production. If you didn't go to New York to see one off Broadway in an area that they show theater,
yes, sir.
You didn't see one.
Yes, sir.
So we was able to bring this product to across country to your backyard. All you have to do is just dress up and come out. It was something new. And what we did in the major city, we created on opening night, which on Tuesday night, after the show, we come in the lobby area, we created what you call a cast party. Okay. For the beauty shop, we invited all the beauticians, all the barbers. And we had hors d'oeuvres and et cetera. And they got a chance to meet each other and network. And it basically was a networking. We did the same thing with the gospel. We invited all the pastors, the ministers, the minister of music. And it was the same thing that happened. It was almost a mixer. And they got a chance to meet each other, see each other, and got a chance to exchange. So it was a business mix.
So y'all kind of created like a whole little ambiance.
Absolutely, correct. Yeah. And from that point, everybody, the play was, at that time, we did 8 shows a week.
Yes, sir.
Now it's not like that, you know.
Yes, sir.
And you had other people, after we started, you had others that thought they could write a play. And it kind of sort of messed the market up. And people look at what we had, and they come out for someone from a college, from the theater production, and it's not the same.
So now you can probably get you about 2 or 3 days, huh? Instead of those 8, what you said.
You can get on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah. Because, and Tyler's, she cut out the Tuesday and Wednesday, and Tyler did Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah, I met, remember Thelma from Good Time?
Yeah.
Her and he was on Everybody Hates Chris Kill moves. So I was cutting his hair. They were doing that at the car. They did this like 2 weeks. And I was able to, and I guess she wrote a play or whatever.
Thelma was in 3 or 4 of my productions.
Okay.
Thelma was in. Thelma was what goes around comes around.
Yes, sir.
Thelma was in Behind the Pulpit. Okay. As a matter of fact, she was my.
Now that wasn't your play at the car, was it? That she was in, was it?
No.
Okay.
No. And Thelma was in also with When a Woman Fed Up.
Okay.
As A Woman Fed Up been a while, and they was comparing my show against Tyler's production called I Can Do Bad All By Myself. And Tyler showed up in Atlanta at the Atlanta Civic Center, and they played a trick on my hands over my eyes, and I couldn't guess who it was, and it was Tyler.
Okay.
I said, "What you doing here?" He said, "Why? What you mean? What I'm doing here? I came to see your show."
Yeah.
I said, "Why?" He said, "All the rumors say your show is better than mine."
Yeah.
So he got a chance to sit down and watch the show. And afterwards, he said, "Nate, I'm taking you to lunch. I'm buying." I said, "Okay, fine." And he got out, and we started talking about one character I had on my show. That's Patricia Levin.
Yeah, Patricia, yeah.
And he said, "I'm glad I saw your show." Why? He said, "She'll never be in one of my productions."
Yep.
And I said, "Why?" He said, "She's too strong."
Yeah.
He said, "You keep your Maybell."
Yeah.
And I'm going to continue to be my deal.
Yeah.
And 3 years later, he called her and invited her to the studio. And she called me and said, "Nate, I said, well, he told me he never worked with you."
Yeah.
He said, "Well, go see what he wants."
Yeah.
So after she visited him and talked with him, she called me back. She said, "Nate, you won't believe it. Are you sitting down?" I said, "Well, let me take a seat, because it sounds like you got some good news."
Yeah.
And she said, "He's writing a sitcom." I said, "Okay, you in it?" She said, "Guess this." I said, "What?" He said, "He's writing a sitcom around me."
Yeah.
And that sitcom came out called Love Thy Neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Along with Palmer Williams,
the
co-star with her.
Yeah,
and it was a restaurant in a
I watched it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, great show.
Yeah, I watched it.
I didn't care too much for the writers, but she did that for about 3 years. And then she was in, I think, 7 of his last 8 productions.
Yes, sir.
Because of her talent.
Yeah, she's talented.
She's tough.
Yes, sir.
She's tough.
Yes, sir.
And I love her. And then but he always jug at me because a friend of mine who's no longer here now set up 2 meetings, me and Tyler, and I stood him up twice.
Yeah.
And he always said, "Nate, don't you hate you stood me up twice?" But I was doing shows and Tyler was just getting started.
Yeah.
And we friends today.
Yeah.
But I was doing No Place to Lay My Head, One Monkey Don't Stop No Show with Kim Fix, Louis Dix, and I was rolling. I just told him, I said, "Man, I didn't have time to help you get started." But, we laughed about it. And when I put this show, When a Woman Fed Up, on the shelf, he always sent rumors and asked Nate, why you never brought that show back out? Because 9/11 knocked the show off the road.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, I was in Oakland, California, September the 5th to the 10th.
Yes, sir.
On the 11th, that's when 9/11 happened. And I decided, because of the tragedy that nothing had never happened on the land in America, people was afraid to get together. Mm-hmm. And I set the sheriff on the play on the sheriff. And up until now, back in 23, I decided to bring it back out.
Yes, sir.
And they've been doing phenomenal across the country. Everywhere I play with this show, they've been calling and wanting to come back.
Wow.
Pound for pound, on the Woman Fed Up is the best show out here.
Wow.
And we always try to compare this show to another show that ran the longest running, which we call the Chitlin Circus Show.
I'm yes, sir.
Called When a Good Man Is Hard to Find.
Okay.
And The Good Man Is Hard to Find ran for 4.5 years. And David Payton was the writer. David Payton also was the writer of this show before he passed away. He ended up being in a trucking accident.
Yes, sir.
But we continued to carry his legacy on with his production, When a Woman Fed Up. And it's been doing great reviews all over the country now. We came out last year, 23 with it. We tested it back out in Tampa, down in Miami, Columbus, Georgia. Then I decided to go ahead and make a run for 24. 24, we played Chicago, Detroit. We played.
How did you do in Columbus?
Oh, we did great.
My folks out of Columbus and Phoenix City.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I had a great time.
They're high down there.
Yeah, they got a barbecue place down there, but I'm off the chains.
Yes, sir. I had ate that. That's funny. Me and DB look for good spots. Well,
trust me, that's, on the road to find talent for plays. I found myself to go to, I want to know who had the best barbecue, who had the best preaching, and the best choir.
Well, let me go somewhere, because I see you got, in 2010, you see your bachelor's degree in religious studies and theology.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. And I told a friend of mine, I said, and you never know, when the calling came, the Spirit came to me, and I said, I try to shout it off, and oh, you got the wrong man, not me. I said, me? To stand up and preach your word?
Yes, sir.
And I said, all the stuff I have done, and you want me to stand up? And then what's so killing part about it is that in school I was very shy,
yes,
to the point to stand before the class and recite anything. But while I was in when I was out to Bible college.
Where you was out in school?
Yeah.
You know Reverend Grayson?
Yeah, very well.
He's one of my clients.
Really?
Yes, sir.
I've been trying to.
I cut his hair about 2 weeks ago. He's finna be 101.
And he had 1 million ties.
Yes, sir.
I said, Reverend Grayson, let me help. So he said, Nate, all you have to do is call me, come by the house.
Yes, sir.
He said, I got a 500 or 600 ties. Get what you want, because I won't be wearing them as time goes.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of them I won't wear anymore.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of them still have tags on them. They come and get them. Because so many people give him ties for prayers and prayers. He got a bunch of ties. He's sharp dressed. And it was a type of thing that when your calling comes, my thing was just like anybody else biblically. You're not ready. And the Lord told me, I said, Lord, I can't. He said, I know you can't. He said, I got to get you ready. First of all, I want you to go to school, study. And along the way, I will teach you what I want you to do.
Yes, sir.
Because once you make a commitment, all I wanted to do to have a commitment from you. And I was tough about giving him that commitment. Did he ask me one or two things? He said, after I have done all of this for you, and you're going to tell me no? I said, Lord, you're not playing fair.
Yeah.
I said, because you've done a lot of things for me.
Yeah.
He said, then he told me, you need me back then.
Yeah.
You need me now. You're definitely going to need me in the future.
Yes, sir.
I said, put it like that. I'm like Moses. Moses didn't want to lead the people.
Yes, sir.
Because he didn't thought he was worthy. Same thing, most people that are called is not worthy. And the Holy Spirit gets you ready to go and stand. The Holy Spirit gives you the courage to stand before people and talk.
Yes, sir.
And because what I give you, I will have them to be able to listen to what you got to say. And everybody say I'm a pretty good preacher.
Yeah. Oh yeah?
Yeah, they say I bring it.
I see something else on here about Drumline Live. What is this band, Battle of the Band competition? What is that?
Battle of the Band came out, I watched, this guy by the name of Eugene Gilbert in Atlanta, bassist started the Battle of the Band. And John got a chance to visit him. John said it would never work. And Eugene put on a band show in Atlanta and worked. And when the guy came to work on Monday, guess what? First person he saw was John Ray sitting.
Oh, yeah.
He couldn't get in his office for John Ray.
Yeah.
John said, boy, we got something now. But John was, now Eugene had the concept, but Eugene wasn't a promoter. I have to tip my hat to John. John, him and I are best of friends, but he's a bona fide promoter. Most promoters have their ups and downs. But John took it to another level. And he did great with the Battle Band. As you can see, every time he had it in the Legion Field, he had 45 to 50,000.
He would have it in New Orleans too, right?
He had New Orleans.
Yes, sir. Did he have Montgomery?
He had.
I know he had New Orleans.
He had Mobile, New Orleans,
yes, sir.
Jackson,
yes, sir.
and Birmingham. Jackson always turned out to be 40, 45,000. Tiger stayed in Mobile, 28,000. And Mobile always did great. John mastered that. And he lost his way like his most times with the Battle. And then it was over the years it kind of like died away, you know. And I asked him one day, I said, John, I want you to give me the hookup on the Battle of the Band. I said, no, Nate, but I need you to come and help me put a play together. John couldn't do what I could do.
Yeah.
I had great relationship across country, and then I had a relationship not only that with the building managers and the theaters and et cetera, and he wanted me to help him with a play. I said, John, I have one. Put your money with my play. No, Nate, I want to have my own.
Yeah.
It took him to lose 100,000, which he could have came with me. But why was that?
Lost $1 million.
See, but my purpose was sitting with him. He was down there by Jim Bird in the little office.
Yeah.
And I saw him working on the Battle of the Band, and I began to peek. He used to pick up on things.
Yeah.
And then I started to pick up, and I tried, and I pick it back off of him. But I wouldn't go into the same market.
Yes, sir.
I took his concept, and I went to the other areas. I went to Houston. I went to Detroit. I went to Cincinnati. I went to Memphis and Philadelphia. And I did great with these Battle of the Band. I played the Astrodome in Houston. I went to Penn University in Philly. I did about 40,000 at Penn University. So and then like I said, it faded away, and just like the movie, So it doesn't exist anymore now. Yeah. Sometimes I think about it. Would it work again? And I think it will if you put it on right.
Right.
Yeah. And we used a couple of talent off the hip hop side because you appeared into most of the high school. And it was a great project because you got these bands together and the band directors come together and that's what they're giving them opportunity to recruit band leaders. Because these kids leaving high school, going to college. So it's a perfect opportunity for these band directors. If you need trumpet players, you need clarinet players, you need drummers. And they can look at you display these high school bands. And they go to the band directors and say, hey, look, if they want to go to Grambling, they want to go to Tuskegee, they want to come to Alabama A&M, and they want to go to Alabama State, they'll tell them what they need. And then when he gets back in the band room, he said, I talked to the different person, band director from different colleges, and this is what they're looking for. And then they gave the kids a choice. If you want to go to Alabama State, if you want to go to Tuskegee, if you want to go to Jackson State,
here go the foundation.
Here's the foundation.
Yes, sir.
And he tell them, and had a list of what they were looking for.
And listen, I've always heard about you, and I think it was Uncle Dave you know, he's in promotion. Well, you know Uncle Dave, but
Yeah.
when he told me about you, he was like, man, you never met. I was like, no. And he was just telling me how powerful you was in this thing. And he was like, man, he was doing it for his son was.
Oh, well,
But to sit here and listen to you,
yeah.
that's, man.
The thing about my son was he wanted to, but we worked together. We eventually started working together. But he would ask my partner Clarence different things about the music business. And Clarence had to put him to the side one day. He said, "Why you keep coming and asking me these things? Won't you ask your daddy?"
Yeah.
He said, "Well, I think," he said, things I need to know. That's where I go. I ask your daddy these things. I'm sitting in the office.
How old are you?
I'm 73, be 74 in December.
You're gonna be 74 years old, but the strength in your voice,
Yeah.
and the things that you have done, and the things you're still doing, that, man, I pray I live to be 74 and doing half some of the stuff you done did. What the old player said, going there can't tell bent nothing.
You're right. You're right. You know, my people, they say, "Hey, when you going to retire?" It's kind of, I'm at that point of just basically slowing down. I said, well, after this tour, when I get through with this show here, I have enough show plays that I'm finna convert over into movies. The same thing that Tyler did. Tyler took how he really got started in the music business.
Was his plays.
Yes,
sir.
And then his contact would be able to send people out to support him in the movie theater. I have about 10, 12 shows that I would like to turn into movies and sit back at home and watch.
But I kind of would say, even with that, in order to see it done right, it's kind of hard to let it go in.
It's sort of hard to let it go. I'm working on 2 projects. If I can get me 2 outdoors projects, one over in Laura, Mississippi, at the Laura Fairground. I'll be there on July the 26th. I have Kevin Richardson, TK Soul. I have Cubit, Shay Nicole, Young Guy, Cicely Wilborn, Urban Mystic. I have a all-star all-star show. And I look for a big crowd. If that one worked, then the city of Grenada, Mississippi, city council want me to, they want a event they can call their own as well. So I'm going to go over there after July and sit with them and plan a show for them for 26.
Yes, sir.
Spring of 26. And those 2 right there happens. Nate Tarver
kind of ease on that the way.
Because and another thing is that I put God first. And whatever I do, very seldom I miss. I'm not the pastor of my church. I'm the minister. I direct my mail course at my church. And I preach every 4th Sunday.
Okay.
And no matter where I'm at, I make it back to Birmingham to preach, to stand and be with my guys on the 4th Sunday. So I dedicated that to, that's what I'm going to do if the Lord bless me out here.
Yes, sir.
And I'll have to keep my word. Wherever I'm at, I would come in, I'll preach, and I can go back to do my settlement on Monday and Tuesday.
On Monday, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. And that's one thing about being committed. My pledge is a friend of mine's only title, which is Arthur Primus, only promoter Tyler Perry ever had. And I was sitting in his office in Dallas. He said, "Nate, out of all this, what you've been doing all these years, at that time about 43 years, he said, what's the greatest thing that you have achieved in your lifetime?" I said, "Going to seminary school and becoming a minister like the Holy Spirit led me.
Yes, sir.
I enjoy standing before people preaching the word more than I do any concert." because my thing is that the Lord want me to help get people saved.
Yes, sir.
You can't get them saved during a concert, and you can give them. And in other words, I told a friend of mine. He said, "Hey, we played ball together in high school." And
What high school did you go to?
I went to Parker.
Okay.
Ever one.
Well, no, man. That, you done said everything right. That's what we agree now.
Now let me say
We
this.
disagree. I mean, I wouldn't
Let me say this. I tell people in every household,
yes, sir.
you'll have some purple, white, and gold somewhere.
You might.
Yeah.
But when you want to look good,
because
you put that green and gold on.
Huh?
When you want to look good, you put that green. Cause see, you know.
Is that we know?
No matter Paul.
Oh, what's that Western?
No, it's Woodlawn.
Oh, Woodlawn.
Yes, sir.
But when I said in every household, you'll find that purple and white because at one point it wasn't one school.
That's all right.
It just celebrated 125.
I know. I went.
So some grandmother.
It got rained out though.
Yeah, grandmother, granddaddy.
All my folks, the Hatches, they went to Park, but they went to Ullman first.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, but Urban started because there was so many people at Parker, and they took Division Avenue. So you stayed on the south side when they built Urban. You go to Urban, and you on the north side. You went to Parker. I used to go up. And I went to Albert Hill Elementary School in Smithfield.
I remember here.
And I used to go up there and pick up the ticket for the kids to go to the football game.
Yes, sir.
Parker on the road, we had 5,900 people in the school, right at 6,000. My sister graduated the class with 800, so I had 600 in my class. We had more people graduating in our class than in some schools. And Parker was the high school that birthed all the other schools. You had Dunbar High School in Bessemer. Dunbar was started before Urban was started. Because they needed a school down in the Bessemer area. But all the other schools came Urban. You had Carver, you had Winona, not Winona, but Western Olden. Then you had Hayes High School. And then because what happened is that parents went to some of those schools. I graduated from Parker, but my son graduated from Woodlawn.
Yes, sir. Yes, he did. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he played ball for Woodlawn.
And he did. Yes,
and
sir.
I cheered for Woodlawn.
Yes, sir.
And, I couldn't. It was a thing as a youngster, growing up in Smithfield, and when I go and pick up those tickets, the office is right next to the auditorium. See, Parker had the biggest auditorium in the city. We had an auditorium that 2,500. All that we used to have what's called a citywide revival.
Yes, sir.
That's how you found a lot of talent, and that's how the branch of how the Temptation got started when Otis' nephew came to town. Because, the Big Dip Corner used to be in Smithfield.
I heard of it.
They used to sing around the Big Dip, what you call, singing what you call, ruining out there. And basically, you had Paul, Eddie from Ensley. Melvin came out of Mobile. The Ruffin came out of Meridian, Mississippi. And then when his nephew came down and saw the group, he went back and told but anyway, told his but he came down, they got together. Otis went. Otis, they didn't go with Otis, they didn't go with the name from the Smithfield area. So they formed the name The Temptation. And the rest was history. Ollie Woodson I met when he was singing solo, he had two female singers. And Ollie was amazing. Ollie was out of Fairfield. Bill with the Terminal was out of Fairfield.
Controllers?
Huh?
Controllers, did you do anything with the controllers?
I tried to get the Controllers in they had to be, they had this song called Somebody Got to Win, Somebody Got to Lose. They had played the North and the South, but it is not complete until you go to the West Coast. And we had a Brother Johnson Christmas tour, and we were trying to get Fletcher Knight Used to run the Blue Gardenia in
I heard of Blue Gardenia.
in Brighton.
Yes, sir.
And he had a girl called Anita Ward, ring my bell.
I heard of Anita Ward. Yes, sir.
And she was a platinum. She made platinum with that song. And I tried to get Fletcher Knight and let the controller come and be on the Brother Johnson too. He wanted to, but he was afraid by us being veteran promoters, and we would do what that he couldn't do. He was afraid of that.
I thought y'all was poached.
Yeah. Because we would have showed them
Soul Finger #2. You ever heard of Soul Finger #2?
No.
Yeah, they. I think they was based out of Collegeville. Phil Hatcher, that was my cousin. He started Soul Finger.
But let me tell you about the Commodores. The Commodores, in 1971, they used to have a place called the Apothecary. In 71, Don Convey come out of New York and gave Tom Johnny a tour. Now, Tom was on the group.
Okay.
Tom was right there in Fairfield. Tom Johnny on the radio station. Yeah. He was in a group at Tuskegee called the DuPonts.
Okay.
The show was the DuPonts and the Commodores.
Okay.
The Commodores was the DuPonts band. But in 71, Don Convey came down and gave the DuPonts the contract. Tom Johnny, Kidder Craig out of Chicago. I can't think of the other gentleman's name. He said, what about the band? He said, oh man, curse word, but I don't want to use it on you. He said, band a dime a dozen in New York. So they left the Commodores. The Commodores were stuck. They had to sing. Lionel Richie never sang. At that point, he wasn't singing. Lionel Richie was shy.
Now he one of the richest men.
Right, but he was shy. His mother was the music teacher and the voice teacher in Tuskegee, diagonal from the school. And when they was put on at the point where they only can do what they had to do, Benny Ashburn was their manager at the time. He was high end on Eastern Airlines. That doesn't exist anymore. He named himself the 8th Commodores. But that's when Lionel Richie started singing.
Yes, sir.
All Lionel used to do was play the saxophone, and the flute. But the lead singer for the Commodore was Walter Orange, which you call Clyde. Walter Orange, right. And Shaggy Dog didn't sing. Lionel Richie was named, everybody has a counselor's name. They used to call him Skeeter. The bass player, Skeeter was his name. I saw him in Las Vegas and I said, Skeeter. He turned around, he said, Nate, he said, when I heard that name, you had to be from the South. And then the first thing I think, you had to be from Tuskegee.
Yes, sir.
And then the first time I played the Commodores, when I was at Miles, I paid him $500. And I asked him, can that $500 still work? He said, yeah, it can work. Add 3 more zeros behind 500,000.
Now, but a lot of my folks out of Tuskegee.
Okay, really?
Yeah, they know him. And, well, one of my cousins I just talked to, matter of fact, last week, her and Tom Jones like best of friends. So yeah, a lot of my folks out of Tuskegee too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you done seen everything.
I don't sing what I need to sing.
Yeah.
I sing a lot.
Still got a lot more to go.
Yeah, in Johnny Ford, I was in Jackson, Mississippi. Charles Erger, his brother got killed in the front yard during the civil rights. Mary Erger, and he said, Charles, I need somebody to help bring me a outdoor concert to Tuskegee. He said, man, I don't know. He said, the guy out of Birmingham, he was walking Johnny to the door, and he turned around and looked at one of his daughters. He said, what that guy named out of Birmingham? You talking about Nate? He said, yeah. He said, Nate Wright sitting right here.
And you was right there.
I was right there.
Yeah.
And I went to Johnny. I said, Johnny, and he said, Nate, I know you from somewhere. I said, I know you know me. And this was, the Mara brothers was the most prominent family in Tuskegee. It was 7 brothers and 1 girl. And they ran Tuskegee. They ran the Llama Company. Matter of fact, when they had Central City, they did all the work for Central City remodeling. They had the Llama Company, the chief of police. They had everything in Tuskegee.
What was that last name?
The Maverick brothers. 7 brothers. I don't think all of them exist now. But Johnny Ford said, that's why I know you from Melville, Maverick. I said, who's that my partner?
Yes, sir.
When I had Confunction, we played Tuskegee Homecoming 3 times. But It was just a thing that he said, man, I need you to do. I said, well, John, I would do it. I said, I'll contact you. But I can't do all that, you know. Yeah. I thought about it and doing a concert in a small area like Tuskegee, and I started saying, would it work? No. Because you have to pull from the surrounding area, Opelika, Montgomery, different areas to Tuskegee, whereas Montgomery is the base. Mm-hmm. If I wanted to do one, it would be Montgomery and have Tuskegee come. But he wanted now I would do one if the city of Tuskegee funded the money. Right. Yeah, so I wasn't going to risk my money to do it. That's the only reason I'm going to meet the people in Mississippi. And because they're the city council, the convention and business bureau, they're going to finance the project. So it's you learn by losing how to promote, and you're smart and know what. It's like Kenny Rogers. You got to know when to roll, when to fold, know when to walk away, and know when to run. Know when to run. Yes, sir. And I saw a lot of these guys get discovered, like Ollie Woodson. Ollie Woodson was singing for Millie Jackson in Huntsville, and Millie Jackson come out of the dressing rooms dripping water, and you know, I said, yo, around all these wives, Millie, he said, Nate, who is that singing? I said, guy by the name of Ollie Woodson. And afterward, I introduced, and she wanted Ollie Wilson to be enough, you know, after opening that. And Ollie asked me, said, Nate, what you think I should do? I said, I got an offer with the Temptation. I got an offer with Millie Jackson. I said, go with the Temp. Oh, I had an opportunity to go solo. Some boys out of Chattanooga, Tennessee was managing. I said, man, you can't. It's hard to make a name for yourself. Millie, all you gonna do is be an open act for Millie. Give it the Temps, you make a name for yourself. Yeah, and when he say treat a lot of people. When he say treat it like a lady, and treat it like a lady was a song that he was singing before he got with the Temptation. So it's I'm saying that's a strong voice too. Yeah, right. That's a strong voice. Right. Working with Bobby Womack, I've worked with all Eddie LeVert, and I was best of friends, and he used to get mad at Dinah Ross. I always said that she was from Brewster Prods out of Detroit. And she was from Bethel, wasn't she? She was raised in Bethel by her grandmother. Her grandmother raised her. When she got to the point where her grandmother couldn't continue to raise, she sent her to her mom in Brewster Prods in Detroit. Eddie LeVert was raised by his uncle in Bethel. Oh, really? Yeah. I know they used to play together. Children or something like that. They used to play with each other. Yes, you know? And I had left. When I left Mays, Eddie LeVert begged me to manage his son. Gerald or Sean? The group, the whole group. Okay. And I said, man, I just left the group. And managing, like, you got a bunch of, they almost like your kids. All their problems, become your problems. Become your problems. Yes, sir. And I just told them, I couldn't do it, and they did fine for. Well, let's do this. Before I need you to do me a favor. What? I need you to stand up with your post. I need you to promote that. Oh, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see a stage play where you can laugh, you might even cry, but this is one of the best theater production that ever to hit stage, called When a Woman Fed Up. Starring Lenny Williams, Shirley Murdoch. We have Patrice Lovely. We have Terrell Phillip from Black Street. You know, he made the sound, I like the way you work. Yeah. And we'll be here on June 1st at the BJCC Concert Hall. Tickets available, and they are cheap. They're very economical. All you have to do is say Energy, you get $5 off. You say Miles College, you get $5 off. Don't go to Ticketmaster. If you go to the box office, if the tickets are $59, you pay $54. and you don't pay no service charge. Ticketmaster have a service charge. I think it's about $20. So to save money, go to the box office. You get a $5 discount. All you have to say is energy or Miles College. But I'm gonna guarantee you one thing. This is the best theater production. And I'm not taking nothing from Tyler. Tyler knows this is the best show out here. Pound for pounds, it's gonna make you laugh, it's gonna make you cry, and the singing is phenomenal in this play. So you need to come on out, support this production here on June 1st. The show starts at 3:30 at the BJCC Concert Hall. Don't miss it. If you miss it, you'll miss a treat. And if you bring someone with you, your loved one, your mom, or make it a family because it's a great production. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Come out and see her. Thank you.
No, we thank you for just giving us some of your time and for all the knowledge. I love when people come on and have a vast knowledge of what they've been doing. So you have made our years wonderful just with all you've been doing, and you really raised the standard of promotion and management. You raised the standard. So I mean, that's why when people see bad managers, they go off because hey, it's some quality out here.
You know, only thing you have in this business is your word.
Right.
My word is my bond.
Right.
There's no one in the industry say I owe them anything. I pass that over to my son. He does everyone that he affiliated with, and they find out that he's my son, and they said, you trained him well. I don't know about Keegan, but he's coming along, and we might have to pass the baton on to him.
Oh yeah, he's doing good too.
I'm gonna groom him to the point that out here, I'm gonna just pass the baton. I'm gonna set him up. All I need him to manage. He's a great manager.
Yes, sir.
Just manage the product.
Yes, sir.
In other words, to keep it
everything already set. You just
right.
Gotta manage.
In other words, going down the road, keep it between the dot.
Yes, sir.
And don't go off the edge of the road.
Yes, sir.
And then we'll both get rich. And I'm gonna make him rich. I'm gonna make I take the kills and bits.
Well, maybe Keegan will make me and his son rich.
Right. Well, this is something that he'll probably enjoy doing.
Oh yeah, I think he's gonna already. Yeah. I seen some of his work.
I tip my hats. He's a very amenable guy, and he's a chip off the block. He's doing well. I just sit and watch him grow, and he got all the tools to be very successful.
Yes, sir.
I would encourage him not to get too deep in the music business because the music business is a gamble. It's like the song, somebody got to win, somebody got to lose, and you it's a chance that you put up a show based on what you feel like the consumer out there wants to see. Sometimes they can fool you, and sometimes it can be very successful. So you do your homework and try to do the best you can, and it's a gamble. You know, you win some, you lose some, but you want to try to have more wins than losses.
Right.
Because if everybody won and win in this business, then everybody begin to try to, because it's such a risky business. As a promoter, I'm the last man standing.
Right, sir.
As everybody else paid, if anything left, it goes to the promoter.
Right.
If not,
you took a loss.
You took a loss.
Yes, sir.
And I told my son one day, I said, son, you gotta learn how to, he smiled when the money's right.
Yeah.
And he kind of frowned when it's not. I said,
Yes,
son, you gotta learn how to wear a loss just as well as you want to win. And of course, that's what it is. And he's been doing a heck of a job in here. And he backed off on a little bit on the Magic City Classic because it's a city event. And I think in order for a promoter to really come in here to do the right thing, then the city should support him and because he's the promoter. And anything that he needs to know from me, going across in this area is fine. In different places that I have introduced him to him, they said, fine young man. You train him well. In Columbia, South Carolina, Andre, these guys that he come in affiliation with, that he done well. Now, if he needed something to go out to the Midwest, St. Louis, Kansas City, Denver, Oakland, Seattle, Portland, all these places I've been, I used to go all up in Des Moines, Iowa, Seattle, and they used to laugh. They said, Nate, all up in Iowa. He said, any black folks in Iowa? He said, y'all can laugh, and Nate's selling out because the show was selling out everywhere I was going. So I played like Minneapolis, you know. So it's just the experience of being across country. And because my first job was I was going to the market and I put shows on sale, and I go on to the next market. And the very sudden I had a chance to see the show, that's our backtrack. That's my job, to sit down with the TV, radio, build it, put the show on sale, and go to the next market. And that's what my thing was. And I looked for talent as I went, because some of your best talent was in the churches. And you look at the background, all your males and female singers, they came out of the churches.
Right.
Yeah. And you find some of the best voices. One of the best voices I ever heard was at a friend of mine's funeral in Nashville. And and when I walked up to her, she said, tell me you finna put me in a play. And I was going to get the information. And said, well, Nate, come on. They would rush me out. So we'll, like they knew how to get in touch with it. And I found out later on, no one out of it.
Right, so you missed out on that.
I missed out on that. Wow. But you find the talent in that church house. And I tell people, when you start singing in this career, don't leave where you started. You always go back and prime the pump. Never let the industry control you. You do your best. And you can make the money, but don't let the money make you. You know what I'm saying? Because other than that, someday you have problems in life when you depend on just that dollar bill. Money, as long as you changing money, that's fine. But don't let the money change you.
Right.
Stay who you are, stay strong with who you are, and represent yourself in a very mannerable way. And we do that from myself to my son, to my grandson. No matter where they always gonna give that respect.
Right.
Because you give it, you get it back. And that's the, as far as the preaching side of it, I love it.
Right.
More passion. And my church members say, man, I would love when you teach, when you have to do a review and you teach. Because in the morning I take out time. Because no matter what you do, you got the Almighty got to be first. Because He got to close you in your right mind. And then when you close you in your right mind, He left you a comforter. That's a spirit to guide you. Not to teach you some things, but to teach you all things.
Yes, sir.
And because we're traveling to a barren land, which is not ours. We're not here to stay forever. We're traveling through. So the Holy Spirit helps you travel through as you go day by day.
Right.
And as long as you're holding on to unchanging hand, you don't get to the destination that you're headed to. But it's been, hey.
So, the last word, hold on to God's unchanging hand. Is that right?
That's it.
That's it.
There's the only hand that's not going to change. Just hold on.
Yes, sir.
And you'll reach your destination.
So listen, I hate we gotta go. We just put up paper, the battery died. I really appreciate you for all that you have contributed to the industry. We thank you for coming out. I really enjoyed this. This was actually, I knew it was gonna be good, but it was actually better than what I thought. And so I really thank you for for your knowledge.
And I want to give you
just a piece,
a little bit.
So we got to do a part two.
We got to do a part two.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm serious. whenever you said do a part 2, you let Keegan know we'll do it. I'm ready.
Yeah.
This was good.
Oh, it's gonna be.
So we're gonna give a shout out to our sponsors: Green Acres Downtown, Green Acres Ensley, Green Acres Realty Enterprise, AEG Entertainment, and Taste It. We thank you for tuning in. Thank you for always liking and sharing. Like this, share this. Go to our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is Business in the Cut TV. The Cuts is spelled K-U-T-T. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Now, as far as the stage play goes, that's June 1st. We want you out on June 1st.
3:30.
When a woman's fed up, 3:30. Be there on time like you be there for Lil Wayne and everybody else. Be there on time when a woman's fed up. That's Patrice Lovely, Leonard Williams, Shirley Murdoch, Michael, who's that?
Michael Corral.
Michael Terrell Phillips, and Joseph, who's that? Joseph, what's his name? Joseph Finley? No, what's his name? In the middle right there on top of Leonard Williams.
Oh, that's Karan Joseph Riley.
Listen, I don't know his name, but I see him in everything.
Karan,
he's
been
a great
in
actor.
Sanctions Centers. He's married to Terry Vaughn.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Terry Vaughn.
Oh yeah, Terry Vaughn. Yeah. I was on stage with her one time. But he's been in a lot of Christmas stuff that I watched.
Absolutely.
He's been in a lot of stuff I watched.
Right.
He's been in
he was president of
the Black Hamptons.
Right, the Black Hamptons.
Yeah, I love the Black Hamptons. That's nice.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, go see the stage play.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have some tickets to give you before then.
Well, we'll have some.
Yeah, we'll have some that you can win. But in order to win the tickets, you have to subscribe to the channel. You have to tell somebody. I'm gonna do it like this. You're gonna have to
tag a friend,
but you're gonna have to shoot that play out and show me the screenshot where you sent the play out, and then you get your ticket. So listen, we're gonna make that happen. We'll give Mr. Tarver and Keegan Tarver. We'll make that happen. So listen, I thank you more than you know, and we out.